Are you still struggling? What if your metabolism wasn't broken? What if losing fat wasn't difficult? What if you could rely on your physical body and know that the choices you're making are going to make sense in your fat loss equation? Maybe our body's not broken. Maybe we just are out of rhythm with how our body's supposed to work. What if our environment is kind of weaponized against us and we are kind of swimming upstream in terms of how our cells actually work? I've been down a rabbit hole lately, and I've been rethinking a lot about how things work and how to maximize cellular regeneration. As we age, as we arrive at menopause and perimenopause for that matter, there's a lot of metabolic chaos that happens just because of our environment. I've been lucky enough to relearn and learn some new things to help you figure out how to strategize, how to encourage the cellular you, those trillions and trillions of cells that make up your human body, how to maximize the health of those cells. So I'm going to give you a few tips. I'm going to add a few suggestions in here, so stay to the end because I've learned a lot, you guys. I'm excited to share. This cellular regeneration, this circadian rhythm, this getting back to nature, there's something to it, and I'm happy to offer a lot of what I'm learning so you can incorporate it in your day. I'm doing it. I think it's making a big difference. My name's Connie Rutledge. I'm a functional nutritionist. I don't know everything, but boy, in my 15 plus year fat loss practice, I've learned a lot. There's so much to the protocols and the restructuring and the lifestyle stuff that isn't just food. Yes, food first. Food is always important, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But what if when I say our environment is weaponized against us, what if that means that our day-to-day cellular endurance is just being completely taxed? There's toxins, obviously, in the air. There's toxins in our water. There's toxins also in our environment, meaning inside our homes. We've gotten so far from living in the sunshine. I just want to help you understand a little bit more about maintaining and re-grabbing that balance. Maybe our body's not broken. Maybe we just are out of rhythm with how our body's supposed to work. And if we're getting up in the morning and we're not getting morning sunlight, ideally, sunrise is best. If we don't get exposed, if we don't get our cells and our circadian clock exposed to early daylight, those UV rays, then our body really doesn't know what time it is. And in the morning, our body's producing cortisol. That's just how it works. Many of us are tired and we're not producing adequate cortisol, but maybe that's because our cells don't know when to produce cortisol or when to appropriate that production, because it's all about cellular circadian rhythm. Pretty cool, huh? Our body is not just a biochemical machine. It's a light-powered, field-sensitive, water-structured organism, and I know that's a mouthful, but we're so much more than just nutrients. Our cellular function depends on knowing what time it is, and that circadian rhythm is everything. The intelligence of nature didn't get it wrong. We've just gotten so far outside of nature and the circadian clock that our body is just assaulted all day long. And that cellular structure, that beautiful cellular membrane with lipids and amino acids, all of that is compromised when we're not exposing ourselves to early morning sunlight, and reducing the EMFs and the blue light from our computers and our cell phones and our TVs late at night. So, I'm rethinking things. Like I said, I used to get up in the morning and, I felt great. I would have a glass of water, have my cup of coffee, and go sit in front of my red light. I'm rethinking that, and I am waking up in the morning. I'm having my water with a pinch of sea salt to restructure it, make sure that it is going to be as fortified as possible. Obviously, we want to be drinking filtered water and adding in minerals so that it resembles the structure like it did when it ran from a stream, because again, nature didn't get it wrong. And we need to replenish. Obviously, we need to hydrate, but it's not about hydrating and just drinking more water. It's about drinking water that has the biochemical structure to support our biochemical structure. And we can go down that rabbit hole, but just drink filtered water, maybe with a pinch of sea salt, and drink it outside. It's going to be easy this time of year because it's warm. It's not sub-zero temperatures. It's summertime. Step outside. Let the sunlight or the fog. I'm in Central Coast, California. We have fog every morning, and it doesn't matter. The UV lights are going to penetrate my iris, and I go out without contacts in just for 10-15 minutes before I put my contacts in so that my body can sense daybreak. That's going to increase my body's ability to know it's morning and to get that morning cortisol rise adequately. Okay. It's kind of so refreshing and replenishing. You can look at your cell phone, and I do often, but I'm using the blue light blocking filter on my cell phone. Okay, and I have an Apple device. I go to settings, and then I go to display and text size, and I scroll down to color filters. I turn that on, and then it gives me some other options, and I go check the color tint, and that should give your phone just a very kind of a pinkish tone instead of that blue light. It should help filter out the harmful blue rays that our body will automatically assume when we're in that blue light. And let me explain. When we're in that blue light, the artificial blue light from the computer, from the TV, from our cell phone, the iris, our body thinks it's high noon. And that's fine when it's high noon. But if we are needing to kind of repair that circadian rhythm, and our body needs to know what time it is late at night, after sunset, when nature says go to bed, it's dark. If you're using your screens, then your body is producing cortisol like it's noon, and that's not winding down. There's a lot to this, and I'm really happy to know and protect myself and hopefully offer suggestions to you so that you can have the awareness and not be altered in that circadian rhythm, because it's important. On the computer, if you have to be in front of your computer, there is an app, I think it's called Iris, and I think it's like $40 for a lifetime. It will also protect you from the wear and tear on your circadian rhythm. You can also wear the blue blocker glasses. Lots of companies, I wouldn't buy them from Amazon. You need to invest in them so that they have the right kind of glass blocking out the blue rays and filtering, the filtering the bad stuff out so that you can enjoy using your device with some balance. That's really, really important. Having the appropriate light balance is going to help with your energetics. Also, getting outside barefoot as often as possible. I know you've heard of grounding, and I used to poo-poo it. I used to think, I'm outside on the tennis court, I'm getting plenty of nature, but I'm trying more often to be outdoors like this and in bare feet as often as possible so that I can get more energetics from Mother Earth. And it's all about balance, right? Even 10 minutes a day, especially if you've been stuck inside and not able to enjoy the circadian rhythm of, morning, noon, and night. You guys, it's like our mitochondria have quorum sensors. It knows, and it needs that nature balance. So waking up early means you should go to bed early. And there's a huge impact going to bed early because many of my clients, myself included, like to eat at night. That evening snacking, that, just fueling or having the sweet snack that absolutely will put you into metabolic chaos isn't possible if you're asleep, right? So waking up early and getting the day started is going to be a really, I would say, nighttime snacking manager. Getting outside in the morning could possibly be the thing that cures you of that late night snacking because you're going to want to go to bed earlier. You're not going to want to stay up late and watch TV. When you get up earlier, you might want to eat earlier. And this is something I'm rethinking. I have been an early morning faster because I feel like, maybe back in the day when I did overeat at night, I wasn't hungry in the morning because I wasn't hungry because I had plenty of leftover fuel. Okay, now that I have balanced out my metabolism, I have used all the tricks and done all the things for a good 7-8 years since menopause. My weight is stable. I don't need to worry about losing fat anymore. But many of my clients, and you might be one of them, will have learned the benefits of that intermittent fast earlier in the day. And there's benefits to that, especially as you're kind of getting started. And when you're metabolically kind of broken, the early morning intermittent fast, waiting a few hours, in the fasted state after waking up, can be a game changer for you for a lot of reasons. Metabolic cleanup, good for the gut, all of that. But if you have trouble with nighttime snacking, I'm just going to give you a huge nudge to eat breakfast. Eat a high protein, low carb, paleo style breakfast, especially if you're up early. And wait 3 or 4 hours, have another paleo style, beautifully high protein meal, which would be midday, and then you eat an early dinner and stop eating as the sun sets. No food after dark. Absolutely not. That's going to take you far in metabolic balance. And if you need 3 meals a day, that's perfectly fine. But let's make sure we structure them well and get all your protein in and get the appropriate amount of carbohydrates for your activity level. I will say that summer months, when the environment is plentiful with lots of carbohydrates, as in fruits and vegetables, not quite the best time for long-term fasting. Our bodies, if we think about the seasons, and we're going to talk about seasons, but the seasons are, we're in the growth and abundance season, summer. So that doesn't mean you eat with wild abandon, but this is a great time to enjoy nature's bounty, okay? Enjoy the fruits of the season. just make sure that you are careful, especially if you have fat to lose. If you have extra weight, then you want to manage your carbohydrates and be reasonable about that for fat loss reasons. But a long-term fast is probably best saved for fall and winter. Okay, not to say that my 5-1-1 eating, 2 to 3 meals 5 days a week, fasting 1 day a week, and not fasting and eating more often 1 day a week isn't a good cadence for your metabolism any time of year. Okay, there's so many caveats I can't even begin to tell you, and that's why it's difficult to, just kind of ramble off what you should be doing, because you're unique, and I want you to feel comfortable understanding this more seasonal knowledge. Food is information. Think about it. Food gets energy from the sun. The sun makes it happen. Our circadian rhythm revolves around the sun and nature. So it's been fun to kind of learn something quote unquote new. That said, I'm rethinking the long-term intermittent fast practice for my clients and myself who are at a normal weight right now. I'm not saying snacking works, but I'm saying you might want to eat earlier if you've been practicing longer term intermittent fasts and not having good luck. Maybe switch it up. Maybe you eat breakfast an hour after waking, an hour after sunrise, and maybe you fast through dinner. Not as easy. It's not as easy for me, that's for sure. But eating late in the day, well, our bodies just aren't needing much energy at that point in time. And I found so many clients, myself included, if I don't get adequate protein early in the day, I'm hungry at night. I may not be hungry, but I'm craving at night because my body didn't get the fuel mix it needed. I didn't get enough protein. Or if I had maybe just some protein powder in like my creamy recipe with protein and butter and water, if I didn't get enough of the right type of protein earlier in the day, then I'm feeling pooped and really on edge later that night. So take that into consideration. Another key factor here is getting the right kind of lipids. Eating fat is essential. Getting the right types of fat, critical. I like the BodyBio balance oil. It is a omega balanced oil, meaning it's not just fish oil. And there's a lot of reasons I don't recommend fish oil because of the way it's processed. A lot of fish oils, most fish oils are over-oxidized and rancid. It's really hard. And it's really hard to get that balance in a fish oil supplement without over-processing it. It's a whole nother conversation. That said, the balance oil is a beautiful blend of omega-6s and omega-3s and omega-9s that will definitely enhance your cellular membrane. And that cellular membrane, girl, it's everything. I am so excited to be offering the wisdom of a balanced lipid. It's a perfect blend of essential fatty acids, omega-6 and omega-3. It's thought that we consume too many omega-6s in relationship to the amount of omega-3s that we consume. But the truth is, we need both linoleic acid and linolenic acid for optimal health. And it also helps with our inflammatory response. Our brains are 60% fat. Getting that critical balance is essential for whole body function. The balance oil is a unique formula. And I don't even like to think of the balance oil as a supplement. I feel like, I think it's just nutrition. It's a nutrient that we must eat. Balance is everything. We got it wrong when we said supplement with omega-3. We got it wrong. The body, nature doesn't make mistakes. Okay, I'll caveat that a little bit, and I've said it before, but processed foods contain processed oils. Those processed oils are likely rancid omega-6s. The amount of omega-6s our body needs, the monounsaturated, unsaturated fats, well, that is higher than fish oil, the omega-3. So we thought that eating, supplementing with omega-3s was the way to balance things. But what we need to do is we need to be eating more fish. We need to be eating more raw seeds and nuts and not relying on a fish oil supplement to save us. We need to eat like nature intended us to eat. So we need to eat wild-caught seafood several days a week, okay, maybe 3 days a week. We need to eat raw seeds, raw flax seeds, raw pumpkin seeds, raw hemp seeds. Those are going to be balancing and obviously not eating processed foods. So we're staying away from the boxes and the packages, because those are all done with high heat, kind of further, vilifying those fats. That said, the seed oils, in the fried foods at the restaurant, we know all about that. We're avoiding that. But most of us are deficient in the omega-6s, can you believe it, that we've been avoiding. Okay, so let's take a supplement that really is going to ensure that we're getting a good quality fat lipid supplement. The BodyBio, I trust that manufacturer. I trust that brand. Their balance oil. Give it a try. You can also layer in the BodyBio PC, the phosphatidylcholine supplement. That is going to do so many things, from membrane integrity to detoxification. And do your research on that one. I'll post a video soon about the benefits and why I'm all over supplementing with phosphatidylcholine. It's golden as far as our membrane integrity goes, and absolutely so good at many other duties in the body. The lipids, the reason we need to take lipids, fats, is because it's an essential nutrient. Our body doesn't make it. We store fat, but we don't make fat. So understanding the types of fats and why it's important is key here. So again, I'm encouraging you to start to just lean into honoring nature a little bit more often. The benefits that I have seen in my own body and the handful of clients that I'm working with currently, really willing to go the extra mile and do the early morning sun and avoiding the toxic blue lights. I'm feeling calmer. I'm feeling like my day-to-day stress isn't quite as impactful. I notice that when I do make mistakes and maybe I'm eating in a restaurant, I'm not as impacted. It's like my body has more bandwidth. It's like I am kind of mitigating the stress by allowing nature and the light and the electromagnetic response from Mother Earth to just kind of support me in a way that maybe when I was in my office all day long in front of my computer, I didn't have that bandwidth. Drinking structured water. Our body needs water, but I've learned that our cells make its own water, and if we give it all the nutrients necessary, we get a better quality of that structured water inside the cell differently. It's going to help with aging. It's going to help with our neurotransmitters. It's going to help healing, and it's certainly going to help with fat loss. I'm sleeping deeper. I've always been a champion sleeper, but when we turn off the TV and we're not, bombarded with that blue light, I think it makes a difference. I added red light night lights when the grandkids are around, so we're not having that LED light in the house after dark. I've got kind of red little night lights that are kind of cute, and it's easier to go back to sleep after an interruption and you're not getting the bright light in your eyes. I'm not on my cell phone at night, especially after we go to bed. I charge my cell phone in a different room now. I had many years where it sat next to my nightstand in the charger. Don't do that. Make sure it's in another room. There's so many things that we can do to mimic nature. Yeah, it takes effort, but I think it's worth it. When you're inflamed and feeling overwhelmed and don't know really where to turn, maybe rethink some things. Give your body a reset. Living in a menopausal body is not for the faint of heart. When your tummy feels flat and you feel like you have balance back, that is so important. It's everything. Pay close attention. Give it 5 days. Restructure your circadian rhythm so that you can enjoy benefits. And you know what? Then you can make little mistakes more often. You've got more bandwidth for healing and recover much quicker. What do you think about nature and circadian rhythm? Does it resonate with you? Let me know in the comments. And if you're curious about the supplements I mentioned, go to my website, ConnieRutledge.com, or I have a discount code for both the phosphatidylcholine and the balance oil in my Fullscript account. You can find it easily in the drop-down menu. Let nature impact your health. It's free. It's just a matter of your mindset. All right, thanks for being here. I'd love it if you'd like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.